Have you ever noticed how a single scent can just instantly, almost violently pull you backward across time?
Oh, absolutely. It's like time travel.
Right. Like, picture this. You could be walking down a gray, rain-swept street in the middle of February.
Ugh, the worst.
Yeah, exactly. You're bundled up in a heavy coat. You're surrounded by the harsh, metallic rush of modern life.
Just like the screech of a bus taking a corner.
Exactly. The glare of neon signs reflecting off puddles, the constant, that constant buzzing of your phone in your pocket.
Right, you're just totally bombarded.
Yeah, you are firmly anchored in the present, stressed out about a meeting or I don't know what you're going to make for dinner.
The daily grind.
But then, from somewhere completely unseen, this faint, almost imperceptible trace of orange blossom drifts past you.
Wow, yeah.
And in a fraction of a second, you aren't on that city street anymore. You are standing in a warm, secluded courtyard.
The whole world shifts.
The air is entirely still. The stars are burning brightly right above you. And you remember the exact feeling of ancient stone beneath your bare feet.
And the sound of water.
Yes, the gentle, rhythmic sound of water slipping over marble. What happened in that past moment felt almost like fate.
It's like a moment perfectly suspended in the dark.
Exactly. Waiting patiently for you to return to it. It's a memory of a night when the rest of the world just, simply faded away.
That is such a powerful image.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. We are so thrilled you're here with us. Today, our mission is a really microscopic literary exploration of a highly evocative, sensory-rich vignette.
It is a stunning piece of writing.
It really is. It's titled Indigo and Jasmine, and it's taken from the collection The Midnight Fountain of Marrakech.
Such a great collection.
So we're looking at a beautifully structured 4-act short story featuring 2 characters, Amina and Tariq, and they're in this secluded Moroccan Riad.
But, and this is important, we aren't just here to read you a story today.
No, definitely not. We are going to deconstruct it. We want to gently but thoroughly unpack exactly how a writer can use setting, temperature, and sensory details to create a deeply immersive and intimate atmosphere.
And they do it in just a handful of paragraphs, which is wild.
Right. Like, how does a writer trick your brain into feeling the heat, smelling the flowers, and sensing the heavy quiet of a room you have literally never stepped foot inside?
It's so great to be here to talk about this. And to you, our listener, I want to emphasize why this specific deep dive matters to you.
Yeah, why should we care about dissecting a few paragraphs?
Well, whether you're an aspiring writer trying to understand the mechanics of world building, or, an avid reader who just loves getting lost in a scene.
Or honestly, simply someone who appreciates a beautifully constructed physical space.
Exactly. Analyzing the architecture of this short text is going to completely change how you observe the spaces and the interactions in your own life.
It trains your eye.
It really does train your eye to notice how the physical environment actually dictates our emotional reality.
Yes.
Once you see the underlying matrix of how a writer constructs an atmosphere on the page, you start noticing how architects, interior designers, and even your own daily habits construct the atmosphere of your real life.
It's basically a shortcut to being a more observant human being.
Precisely.
So let's just step directly into this world. Let's begin our deep dive with the opening scene.
Let's do it.
We are in Marrakech. It is midnight. We are inside the private courtyard of a stone riad.
Okay, setting the scene.
And the text explicitly tells us that the midnight air is, quote, thick with the intoxicating scent of blooming night jasmine and orange blossom.
Thick. What a word choice.
And the only sound, the absolute only sound, is the rhythmic trickling of a marble fountain.
Just that water.
Okay, let's unpack this. The way the author sets this up is almost like a sensory deprivation tank, but like in reverse.
Oh, a sensory saturation tank. I love that.
Exactly. The environment forces the characters and us as the readers to be hyper present. But I actually have to push back a little here before we even get deeper into it.
Okay, hit me.
Doesn't starting a story by just throwing thick scents and trickling water at the reader risk overwhelming them, like walking through the perfume department at a mall?
That's a really valid question.
Mm-hmm.
But what's fascinating here is how the author actually exercises incredible restraint.
Restraint? How so?
Well, that restraint is what prevents that perfume department overwhelm you mentioned. They prioritize one specific scent and one specific sound long before we even get to the visual details.
No, that's true. We don't see anything yet.
Right. And when you close your eyes in a dark place, what happens biologically?
Your other senses take over.
Exactly. Your visual cortex has less data to process, so your brain actively heightens your other senses to compensate.
So by beginning specifically with the scent of night jasmine and orange blossoms, the author they're gently asking our brains to close our eyes.
Yes. And let's look at the neuroscience of that choice because it's brilliant. The olfactory bulb, which processes smells, has a direct, hardwired connection to the amygdala and the hippocampus.
And those are the areas of the brain strongly implicated in emotion and memory, right?
Correct. Scent bypasses the logical processing centers of the brain entirely. It goes straight to the emotional core.
So by leading with scent, the author is essentially hacking the reader's emotional center before their logical brain even has time to process what the story is actually about.
It's a complete neurological hack.
That is brilliant. And going back to that word thick to describe the air, it immediately establishes a heavy, insulated environment.
Like a blanket.
Yeah, a blanket wrapping around the courtyard. It tells you that the air isn't moving, there's no breeze clearing it out.
You're trapped in it, but in a good way.
It forces a kind of deep, involuntary inhalation. Like, does starting with the scent of jasmine make the text feel inherently slower and more deliberate to you?
Oh, without a doubt.
Because as a reader, you read about a thick, intoxicating scent, and you naturally, physically take a deeper, slower breath yourself.
It absolutely slows everything down, physically and psychologically. And, night jasmine is a brilliant choice, biologically speaking.
Why is that?
It is a plant that evolved to only release its fragrance after the sun goes down to attract specific nocturnal pollinators.
Wow.
Yeah, it literally saves its most intoxicating offering for the dark.
That perfectly mirrors the intimacy of the scene.
It does. And then, right on the heels of that deep, slow breath we take, the author introduces the sound, the gentle, rhythmic trickling of the central marble fountain.
The fountain acts as a metronome for the entire scene.
A metronome, exactly.
It sets a slow, hypnotic pace for all the actions that will follow.
And the psychology of rhythmic sound is profound. Continuous, predictable, low-frequency sounds like trickling water cause a phenomenon called brainwave entrainment.
Brainwave entrainment, what is that?
It's when your brain waves actually begin to synchronize with the rhythm of the sound you're hearing.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, it pulls you out of a high-frequency, stressed beta wave state, which is where we usually are during the day, and pulls you down into a relaxed alpha wave state.
So the rhythmic trickling is literally calming the reader's nervous system.
It's a constant grounding heartbeat right in the center of the Riad.
And we really need to talk about the significance of the stone Riad itself and this private courtyard.
Absolutely.
These aren't just aesthetic background details. These architectural choices are actively doing the emotional heavy lifting.
What do you mean?
Well, a riad is traditionally built facing inward. Like if you walk down a street in the Medina in Marrakech, you mostly just see blank, heavy walls and wooden doors.
Right, very closed off from the outside.
The windows and balconies don't look out at the busy streets. They look inward, down into the private central courtyard that's open to the sky.
So it inherently creates a hidden sanctuary.
Exactly. It is an architectural space literally designed for looking inward rather than outward.
And let's look at the thermodynamics of that stone Riad, too. The walls are incredibly thick.
Right, to deal with the heat.
Yes. During the blistering heat of the day, that stone absorbs the sun's energy, keeping the inside cool.
Okay.
Then at night, when the desert air drops in temperature, the stone radiates that trapped warmth back into the courtyard.
So when the text says the air is thick, it is a literal meteorological reality of the space.
It creates an entirely separate microclimate from the world outside.
That is fascinating. So the environment has been curated over centuries of architectural evolution to force whoever's inside to focus entirely on the present moment.
On the center of the house, on the fountain, and on each other.
A space for looking inward. It's creating an impenetrable container for the emotion.
A perfect container.
And within that container, we are introduced to our characters in such a striking, highly visual way. The camera sort of pans from the unseen flowers to the people.
Yes, finally we get the visual.
Amina is standing by the water. She's dipping her bare fingers into the cool pool. She's wearing a sheer white silk kaftan that catches the silver moonlight filtering down through the open sky.
Such a strong image.
And then we have Tariq. He is watching her from the arched shadow of the doorway. His linen shirt is unbuttoned halfway down his chest, and he is entirely captivated by the sight of her.
The visual and textural contrast established in this single moment are a masterclass in atmospheric writing.
It really is.
The author is painting with light, shadow, and texture. Let's break down the light first. We have Amina bathed in silver moonlight.
Silver moonlight?
Right. And moonlight is fundamentally different from sunlight in how our eyes process it.
Because it's dimmer.
Yes, but biologically, sunlight is bright, warm, and highly saturated. It activates the cone cells in our eyes, which process sharp details and vibrant colors.
Okay, cones are for color.
Exactly. But moonlight is dim. It relies heavily on our rod cells, which don't see color well at all.
Oh, so everything bathed in moonlight inherently takes on a desaturated silver ethereal quality.
Yes. It blurs the edges of reality. Amina is in this cool light connected to the water, wearing sheer white silk. Everything about her in this moment feels soft, flowing, almost otherworldly.
It's almost like a painting utilizing chiaroscuro.
Chiaroscuro, yeah.
You know, that profound dramatic contrast between light and dark that painters like Caravaggio or Rembrandt mastered. You have a single shaft of light illuminating the primary subject, framing them as something divine or untouched, while the rest of the canvas just recedes into a deep, impenetrable shadow.
That's exactly what's happening here.
By having Tariq stand back in the shadow, captivated by her, the text frames Amina as almost magical to him in this moment.
The darkness is protecting him too.
Right. Allowing him to be entirely vulnerable in his admiration without having to engage yet.
That chiaroscuro analogy is spot on. And notice how the author brilliantly layers tactile contrast right on top of that visual contrast.
Tactile contrast.
Yeah, the text deliberately engages our tactile imagination, our somatosensory cortex. It didn't just say she was wearing white and he was wearing a shirt.
It specifically contrasts her sheer white silk with his linen shirt.
Right. And think about how those fabrics feel. Silk is cool to the touch. It is incredibly smooth, practically frictionless.
It behaves like water, really, slipping easily over the skin.
And it catches the light. Linen, on the other hand, is textured. It's earthy, woven, grounded.
It has a slight roughness to it. A reality.
And linen absorbs light rather than reflecting it. So the author is laying down a grid of elemental differences. Light and shadow, water and stone, silk and linen, cool and warm.
It's all about these elemental binaries and the psychological impact of having one character actively engaged with the physical environment while the other is entirely focused on observing her. It's a mint.
It really is. Amina is interacting with the cool water. She's present in her body.
While Tariq is entirely static, his entire cognitive load is dedicated just to watching her.
This is a classic technique to build tension. The reader identifies with the observer. We are watching Tariq watch Amina.
It builds this exquisite, slow-burning anticipation before any physical contact even occurs.
The space between them in that courtyard isn't empty.
No, not at all.
It's densely packed with the scent of jasmine, the sound of water, and the unexpressed intent of his gaze.
That tension is so palpable, which brings us to the moment that tension finally breaks.
Act 2.
Tariq steps out of the shadows, and the text specifically notes his leather sandals making no sound on the intricate zellige tile floor.
I love that detail.
He reaches her side, he catches her wrist in a fluid motion, lifts her wet fingers, and kisses them.
And then we get the dialogue.
Yes, our first piece of dialogue. Amina whispers, "The water is cool," and Tariq replies, "Then let me warm you," in a velvety whisper.
Such a classic exchange.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though. The dialogue is incredibly sparse. It's bordering on absolute minimalism.
Very sparse.
I have to admit, when I first read it, I wondered if it was almost too simple. Like, does this dialogue even need to be here?
You think they could have just stayed silent?
Well, yeah. Or does it function more like poetry? Just verbalizing the elemental contrast between the cool water and the warm affection that is already happening physically.
It is entirely poetic, and I would argue its simplicity is its greatest strength here.
Really?
Yeah. In moments of profound emotion or deep intimacy, words often strip down to their absolute most basic elemental meanings.
That makes sense.
If they had a long, complex conversation here about, like, the events of their day or the specific nuances of their relationship,
It would put him in the mood.
it would shatter the atmosphere.
Yeah.
The author just spent 2 paragraphs carefully constructing. The environment has stripped the modern conversational clutter away. They're speaking the language of the elements around them.
Water, heat, coolness.
Exactly. And what's fascinating here is that detail you mentioned earlier about the leather sandals making no sound on the intricate zellige tile floor.
Right.
The author uses the absence of sound to heighten the intimacy.
That's a really great point. Why bother mentioning the floor at all if no sound is being made on it?
Exactly.
It's the acoustics of absence. If the author wrote he walked quietly, it tells us absolutely nothing.
It's boring.
But by saying making no sound on the intricate zellige tile, the author forces our brain to anticipate a sharp clicking sound leather on hard tile, and then actively denies us that sound.
It makes the silence feel heavy, deliberate.
It shows an incredible reverence in his approach. He isn't stomping toward her, breaking the spell. He is gliding.
And by explicitly naming the intricate zellige tile, the author subtly grounds the ethereal nature of the scene.
Zellige tiles are those highly complex, hand-cut, geometric Moroccan mosaics, right?
Yes, they take immense patience, mathematics, and centuries-old artisanship to create.
So they represent permanence.
Exactly. By pointing our gaze down to those ancient, permanent hard tiles, just as he takes his silent, fleeting steps, the author provides a grounding contrast.
The hard, permanent reality of the ancient stone underfoot anchors the soft, transient vulnerability of the human moment happening right above it.
Beautifully said.
And the physical approach itself is so perfectly described. Catching her wrist and lifting her left fingers is detailed as a fluid motion.
Fluid, tying back to the water.
The author is seamlessly linking Tariq's physical movements to the water motif. He is flowing toward her. He has left the earthy, static shadow and is now joining her in the element of water. But then right after this incredibly cool watery exchange, the text throws a massive curveball.
It sure does.
He pulls her into a firm embrace. Their kiss is passionate and lingering, and the text specifically describes it as carrying the underlying heat of the desert day.
That is such a crucial line if we connect this to the bigger picture.
Yeah.
The author is pulling off a brilliant narrative magic trick right before our eyes.
A magic trick.
Think about it. We have been firmly established in a midnight setting. The sensory baseline we have accepted is completely defined by coolness.
The cool midnight air, the cool water of the marble fountain, the silver moonlight, the sheer citadel.
Exactly. It is a completely cool palette. But through the specific, intense action of the kiss, the author abruptly reintroduces the intense blazing heat of the afternoon sun into the courtyard.
Oh, it is temporal blending. They are carrying the physical memory of a 100-degree desert day into a 60-degree night.
Which perfectly captures how the human body remembers temperature.
I love this because if you've ever been in a hot climate, that heat gets stored in your bones. It changes your lethargy, your blood flow.
It stays with you long after the sun goes down.
By writing that the kiss carries the heat of the desert day, the author is showing us that the characters themselves are now generating the atmosphere.
The power dynamic of the scene has completely flipped.
How so?
Well, in the beginning, the setting was dictating the mood. The heavy jasmine and the slow fountain were telling the characters how to feel.
Right, they were passive subjects of the Riad.
But now, their connection has escalated to a point where they are taking over the environment. They are radiating the remembered warmth of the desert sun into the cool air.
And the author explicitly confirms the sensory merger a sentence later, noting that his velvety whisper was blending with the sound of the fountain.
The human actions are literally merging with the architectural environment established in the first paragraph.
Tariq's voice and the trickling water become indistinguishable from one another.
So the outside environment and their internal emotional state have completely synchronized.
And the moment they synchronize, they move deeper into the space. We transition into the next phase of the text, Act 3.
Moving inward.
Tariq carries Amina into an adjacent bedroom alcove, and immediately the visual palette and the temperature of the scene completely change.
We get a whole new sensory baseline.
We are told that dozens of small brass lanterns cast a geometric tapestry of light and shadow across low-slung silk cushions. He slips the white caftan off her shoulders, letting it slide away like water.
The imagery is just stunning.
I look at this movement from the open courtyard into the alcove like a camera physically zooming in for an extreme close-up.
Oh, that's a great cinematic way to view it.
In the courtyard, the sky was wide open above them, but as they move into the alcove, the physical space shrinks. It gets enclosed, softer. It perfectly mirrors the narrowing focus of the characters purely onto each other.
And the shift in lighting here is incredibly deliberate and vital to the psychological shift of the characters.
Right, we've left the moonlight.
We move away from the natural, distant, silver moonlight of the open exterior into the artificial, intimate, warm, amber light of the brass lanterns in the interior alcove.
Amber light, that feels so much safer.
It does. Let's talk about the physics and psychology of color temperature. Moonlight is cool, hovering around 4,000 to 5,000 Kelvin.
Which is pretty stark.
It doesn't trigger the same deep-seated evolutionary comfort that warm light does. Amber light from lanterns mimics the color temperature of ancient fire, around 2,000 Kelvin.
And fire implies safety, warmth, a hearth, a protected space.
Precisely. By shifting the lighting to amber, the author is signaling to the reader's subconscious that the characters have reached the innermost sanctum. They are completely safe.
And that geometric tapestry of light and shadow cast by the pierced brass lanterns, it perfectly mirrors the earlier mention of the intricate zellige tiles.
The author is maintaining that distinctly complex ancient Moroccan aesthetic.
But we are shifting the tactile reality. We go from the hard, unforgiving surfaces of stone and tile in the courtyard to the impossibly soft surfaces of the interior.
Silk cushions and amber light.
The author also gives us an incredibly satisfying literary resolution right here.
Oh, the kaftan.
Yes. The text says he lets the sheer white kaftan slide away like water. This simile beautifully resolves the water motif that was introduced at the very beginning of the story.
It's so elegant.
The literal physical water of the cool marble fountain outside is now replaced by the metaphorical water of the slipping silk inside.
It brings a profound sense of continuity. The story flows, quite literally, from one element to the next without breaking the spell.
It is incredibly satisfying when a writer closes a metaphorical loop like that. It rewards the reader for paying attention.
And it sets the stage for the physical climax of the vignette.
Right. The text describes their bronzed skin gleaming in the amber light. Their intimacy is described as languid and deeply sensory.
Languid.
And it specifically notes that their pace matches the exotic, slow rhythm of the night. It is beautifully framed as a silent, powerful conversation made of skin against silk, breathless gasps, and tightly gripped hands.
This raises an important question, though.
What's that?
How does a writer effectively convey profound physical intimacy without resorting to clinical, mechanical, or overly explicit descriptions that can often feel jarring or cheap?
Because it can so easily turn into a biology textbook.
Right, but the answer is masterfully demonstrated here. The author avoids anatomical mechanics entirely and instead focuses purely on the sensory touch points that surround the action.
The cool feeling of silk.
The sudden sound of a gasp.
The intense pressure of a tightly gripped hand.
The author elevates physical intimacy by framing it as a form of communication, a silent conversation.
It treats the physical act as a profound dialogue where words are entirely useless.
A silent, powerful conversation. It treats the body as a communicative tool.
And I'm really struck by the word languid. It means unhurried, relaxed, almost heavy with peace.
Unhurried is a great synonym for it.
But it makes me wonder. The text says they are completely consumed by each other. I want to know how much the setting facilitates this specific type of consumption.
What do you mean?
Could this same level of profound, languid intimacy happen in a modern, brightly lit, noisy apartment in a bustling city with paper-thin walls and the hum of a refrigerator in the background? Or is the ancient, isolated stone ride a necessary active ingredient for this magic?
That is the core of architectural psychology, isn't it? Our environments absolutely dictate our physiological states.
So they couldn't be this languid in a modern apartment?
Honestly, probably not. In a modern apartment surrounded by the hum of appliances, sirens outside, and LED lights, your sympathetic nervous system is constantly humming at a low baseline of alertness.
Right, you're always somewhat on edge.
Your brain is continuously filtering out microstressors. But inside a stone Riad, with 3-foot-thick walls blocking the chaos of the city, illuminated only by amber light,
your brain stops filtering threats.
The parasympathetic nervous system takes over. Cortisol drops. Oxytocin flows more freely.
Wow.
The setting gives their bodies biological permission to be languid. It provides the absolute acoustic and visual quiet required to actually hear a silent, powerful conversation.
The ancient stone is actively protecting their vulnerability.
It's a literal and psychological fortress.
And speaking of the fortress protecting them, we arrive at the resolution of the story. Act 4. The text jumps forward gently in time.
The aftermath.
Hours later, the desert breeze had cooled the courtyard, but the alcove remained a pocket of deep warmth.
Notice the contrast again.
Amina is lying there, tracing the contours of Tariq's chest. He holds her tightly. And notice this detail. Instead of the sheer silk from earlier, they are now under a heavy linen sheet.
Such a specific change.
Surrounded by the ancient stone walls and the faint scent of jasmine, they drift off to sleep, perfectly anchored in their private oasis.
The sensory evolution from the first paragraph to this final paragraph is incredibly precise. Let's track the data.
Okay, let's track it.
The scent of jasmine, which began as thick and intoxicating, has now subsided into a faint scent.
The overwhelming sensory saturation has burned off.
Exactly, leaving a comfortable residue. The temperature has shifted from the intense, remembered heat of the desert day to a cooled courtyard, while they retain a pocket of deep warmth.
It's all about finding equilibrium.
But the most significant shift is the fabric. The sheer, weightless, ethereal silk caftan has been replaced by a heavy linen sheet.
I noticed that immediately. Why linen? Why heavy? She was wearing sheer silk. They were lying on silk cushions. Why introduce a heavy linen sheet right at the very end when they are falling asleep?
It is rooted in the biology of deep touch pressure therapy.
Deep touch pressure, like weighted blankets.
Exactly. A heavy linen sheet acts similarly to a weighted blanket. When a gentle distributed weight is applied to the human body, it stimulates the production of serotonin and dopamine while further reducing cortisol.
It physically grounds the nervous system.
The silk represented the ethereal, weightless, almost magical quality of their initial attraction and passion.
But passion is exhausting.
It really is. To truly rest, the body needs to feel grounded and secure. The heavy linen sheet signals a shift from the dreamlike romance of the courtyard into a tangible, deeply secure comfort.
It brings them back down to earth safely.
Yes.
So what does this all mean? Let's look at the very last phrase. They drifted off, perfectly anchored in their private oasis. Let's break down those two nouns. Anchor and oasis.
Heavy words.
An oasis inherently implies that a harsh, unforgiving, barren desert surrounds it. An anchor inherently implies that there are turbulent, unpredictable, dangerous waters trying to pull a ship away.
They imply external threat.
These are incredibly specific, loaded word choices. The author is suggesting that the outside world beyond those heavy wooden doors is chaotic and difficult to navigate.
Which makes this quiet, sensory Riad, this pocket of amber light, a vital sanctuary for survival.
They aren't just having a romantic night. They are taking refuge from the world.
That is a brilliant synthesis. The language implies that true intimacy is an act of constructing a shared shelter.
A shared shelter. I love that.
They have become each other's anchor, and together they have utilized the thick walls of the Riad to build an oasis.
And if we look at how efficiently the author achieved this, using only scent, temperature, architectural geometry, and contrasting textiles.
It is a stunning reminder that the most powerful storytelling isn't just a ledger of what characters say or do.
True storytelling is the architectural manipulation of the reader's sensory imagination.
The author didn't just tell us they were in love. The author made us feel the heavy heat, the cool water, and the grounding weight of the linen, forcing our own nervous systems to mirror the character's experience.
It is incredible. We've gone from a single drop of water in a fountain to the complex thermodynamics of ancient stone, straight through to the neurochemistry of deep pressure therapy.
It covers so much ground.
It really proves that to be a great writer, or even just a highly perceptive reader, you have to understand how deeply our physical environments shape our emotional truths.
Absolutely. And my hope for everyone listening is that you take this analytical lens and apply it to the art you consume.
It changes everything.
When you watch a brilliant film or read a captivating book, pause and ask yourself, how is the creator manipulating my senses right now?
What is the lighting doing to my heart rate?
What is the ambient sound doing to my anxiety?
Yeah.
Becoming an active, critical observer of how atmosphere is manufactured makes engaging with art infinitely more rewarding.
Well said. But before we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you, our listener, with a final, provocative thought to mull over on your own.
Something to take away.
We just spent this entire time exploring how Amina and Tariq used the thick walls, the jasmine, and the amber light to construct an impenetrable private oasis away from the desert of the outside world.
A physical sanctuary.
Think about your own life. We live in an era defined by the exact opposite of this, Riad.
Oh, completely.
We live with constant digital connection, endless push notifications, algorithmic noise, and a culture that demands we are always looking outward, always available.
It's exhausting.
So, what are the physical mechanics of your sanctuary? What physical, tangible elements do you need to acquire, build, or seek out to construct your own impenetrable oasis against the noise of the modern world?
It's a great question to ask yourself tonight.
Thanks for taking this deep dive with us. Keep questioning, keep observing, and we'll see you next time.